It is my pleasure to invite Reverend Donna Smith up to our pulpit. She travels from Roseburg, Sutherland area. Every Sunday she's with us, and it's a pleasure to have her here talking about celebrating fatherhood. And also, Donna has a class afterwards. I invite you to stay. She's been doing this for as many years as she's been with us. I don't know how many raising consciousness classes she's had, but it's free, so stay. Again, we'll either meet outside if it's nice, in the library, or back in the sanctuary.
We have 40.
What's that?
We have 40. I count them as we go on. 40 classes.
40. This is your 41st?
40th.
40th. This is the 40th anniversary of Raising Consciousness. So, Donna, come on up. Come on up here.
All right. Oh, thank you.
And be careful of the wires.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you hear me okay?
You can.
All right, good. I saw one lonely elk today.
Oh.
Yeah. But he was happy, I could tell. That's all right.
Okay. A little closer.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Yep.
Yeah, all right. There were 3 men hiking, and they came across this rather fast-flowing river, but they had to cross that river. So one of them said, I think I'm just going to jump in and swim across. And so he jumped in, and he did make it to the other side, but he was beaten up because of the force of the river beating him up against the rocks and everything. And the second one looked, and he saw this little canoe thing down at the river edge, and he said, I'm going to take that little canoe and go across. So he starts out, and of course the water was so strong it just broke up the canoe, and he did make it also, but he was beaten up also. Well, the third one looked at all this, and he said, that doesn't look so good. So he said, Dear God, please help me get to the other side of the river safely. Immediately, God turned him into a woman. The woman took the map out of her backpack, walked a few yards up the river, around a bend, and walked across the bridge to the other side. So I think the moral of the story is, men, it's okay to ask directions. Yes. Well, happy Father's Day to our wonderful men that we love so much, even though we kid them, And this is a day of gratitude for our fathers and our father figures that have helped us in so many ways. Do you know what the definition of a father is? A man who carries pictures in his wallet where his money used to be. I had the honor of speaking on Mother's Day last month, and it's an honor now to speak on Father's Day. I actually love both of those words, mother, father. It just, it makes you feel warm and comfortable and loving inside. So those are wonderful words for us to meditate on sometimes even. Fatherhood is a really huge responsibility, and it's a lot of hard work, and I think all the men can probably say, shake your head yes on that one, huh? But it's very rewarding also. And here are some of the rewards. Your last name stays the same. The garage is all yours. You can wear a white t-shirt to the water park. You can wear no t-shirt to the water park. And car mechanics tell you the truth.
Oh.
Phone conversations are over in 30 seconds flat. Right, guys? You can open all of your jars. Your underwear is $8.95 for a 3-pack. You can wear the same hairstyle for decades if you want to, and that's okay. And guess what? You can do your nails with a pocket knife. You can do Christmas shopping for 25 relatives on December 24th in 25 minutes. Yeah. And a father has 6 items in the bathroom: toothbrush, toothpaste, shaving cream, razor, a bar of soap, and a towel. A mother has an average of 337. And a man would be able to identify probably only about 20 of those things. So, your thoughts about your father and your father figure may be mostly happy or maybe not. And I would love to think that every child has a great childhood with loving parents. But, that is not true for all of our children. In fact, most people have I counsel have said to me, I wish he could have been more like this, or I wish he could have spent more time with me. But they always say I loved my dad. But it was always about something lacking that they did not do. And as we look back in our history, we see that we have put great pressure on our fathers, have we not? And in many ways, we still do that, even though the definition of fatherhood has changed somewhat. We have more stay-at-home fathers now. We have same-sex parent partners and spouses who are raising children and providing both mother and father caring for their children. These changes seem to be accepted in society now, but they were not just a few years back, actually. No matter the structure of the family, we have expected many things from the father role, no matter who is in that role. And these expectations include wage earner and providers for the family, strong and noble every moment, right? Showing no weaknesses, and always with a shoulder for you to cry on. They are expected to be the protectors of the family and the nation at all costs. They are expected to go to war. And many women go to war, but they're not expected to go to war. They volunteer to go to war, but men are expected to do that. You're expected not to cry. You're expected not to eat quiche. You know, real men don't eat quiche. But you're expected to work very hard, and you do. You work so very hard. You're expected to be an example for your children, to be a disciplinarian, be a teacher. And you're expected to fix everything, right? You're expected to be a counselor. You're expected to be a father, husband, son, uncle or brother, etc. And the list goes on and on and on what we expect from you. So I just want to say that expectations of anyone or anything is always disappointing because we're expecting them to be the way we want them to be. And they're not here to be the way we want them to be. So expectations are that block that prevents us from really seeing what's really there. And so it's I think it behooves us to maybe let go of some of those expectations. And I'm talking about fathers who are still here and those who have gone. Because, we're all energy and we're all still one. And all of our thoughts and our prayers and everything that we think about those fathers, they hear, they know. Now, society traditionally has defined very well what fathers should be. And when they don't live up to those expectations as thyself, we feel like we've been, shortchanged, that we're disappointed. We have done a great disservice to our fathers. We have put them on a pedestal and expected all these things from them without realizing the great onus we have laid on their shoulders, without realizing how hard it is to maintain all of these expectations that go with fatherhood. And I don't know what your experience was with your father or your father figure or figures. However, I would like to invite us all to see them as human beings walking on this planet, learning and growing and doing the best they know how, especially in the role of father. They were influenced by their experiences before fatherhood, which they carried into the fatherhood as their beliefs. And all of this affects how we live our lives. And fathers have and will make mistakes because that is how we learn and grow. So today, I would like to invite you to let go of the expectations you may have put upon your father or father figures, and to release those disappointments you may still be carrying. I would like to invite you to free yourself from any judgments and unforgiveness that you may be holding. In other words, I'm inviting you to make a U-turn and begin to make a list in your mind of all the things that your father did for you as you were growing up. The gifts that you received because he was your father. So I invite you to do this. It is very, very healing. We tend to think about the sad parts of our lives. They say that our thoughts 70% or more are negative every day. So if we can make that U-turn and go towards the positive, you may even begin to see your father in a different way, in a different light, and appreciate some of the gifts that they have brought. Perhaps what you considered his weaknesses made you stronger. Perhaps the love from your father, or the lack of love, instilled within you the importance and value of loving. Perhaps the challenges he may have put in front of you helped you to know what you want and don't want, and gave you the courage to go for it. Perhaps his kindness and generosity landed in your heart where you do the same to others. Perhaps any pain you experienced helped you to learn to forgive or open your heart to others in the same position. And perhaps when we remember that we chose our parents and they chose us before coming onto this planet, it will help us realize those gifts given to us by our parents in both the good times and what we sometimes call the bad times. Taking expectations off our fathers allows us to see them more clearly for what and who they truly are, and to live in the moment with them, whether they are here or not, as I said before, but live with them now, in the present, in the physical, or if they have gone, in their energy, their loving energy. See, it helps us feel compassion and love and understanding, and it helps us to be empathetic with their lives and experiences that molded them into the fathers that they became. And you know, some of us might not even know what all those experiences were. We just make judgments about what they should be instead of trying to really understand what they have gone through. I know some of the things I learned about my father later on in life surprised me. I had no idea he had so many, sad things happen to him in his life. So and most importantly, whether they're alive or not, take those expectations off the table helps us in our forgiveness. Forgiveness is the ultimate path to freedom. Forgiveness. And it seems to be one of the hardest things that we do, or we try to do sometimes. Your father is, was, and continues to be, from whatever plane he is living, a gift to you. All things are in divine order and are for a reason. It is for each of us to open our eyes and our hearts. Letting go of expectations opens the way for us to do just that. I have very fond memories of my father. We always knew we were loved. And he lived with 5 women in 1 bathroom. Need I say more? He was very strong. He cried when he opened his gifts because he just did not, suppress his feelings. He was just very kind and gentle. And however, he almost ruined my love life. In high school, he would come to the door to greet my boyfriends, and he would, in this gruff voice, "My daughter is to be home at 10 o'clock, and I do not mean 10:01. He would say things like that, and I'm like, God, you're running out of boyfriends, Dad. And I wish I had time for all of us to share about your fathers But I encourage you to do that with for yourself and within your heart and with your family and friends. And remember the love. Remember the love. And allow the other feelings to be forgiven and released. Whether your father is still here on the earth or not, again, he will receive your love and forgiveness. And whatever message you give to him, he will receive. And that's very important to remember. It's because sometimes you think, when you're, any parent dies, you think, oh, I should have said this, I should have done that, and you think that it's over, you missed it. But no, you did not. You can talk to them, you can write them letters. Just have no place to mail it, but you can still write them, and they receive it. They receive it, because nothing is ever lost. So I hope that you will consider doing the U-turn, if that's an issue for you. But mostly just open your heart, because everyone in this world is doing the best they can. And today in class, we're going to talk about why we struggle so much and how we can turn that around to living empowered lives. So I would like to invite us now to go into a little meditation. With these thoughts in our awareness, I ask you to relax, close your eyes, and just breathe a couple of deep breaths before you return to normal breathing. Bring your attention to your heart. Feel its rhythm. I usually ask you to think of someone or something that brings you genuine feelings of love and appreciation. Today on Father's Day, I invite you to think of your father or your father figures. And I invite you to envision embracing him in your heart with love and gratitude. Hold him there for a few moments as you allow love to overcome any other feelings that you may have. And choose love at this moment. Choose love. So today we bless and give heartfelt thanks to our fathers and the fatherly figures in our lives. Fatherhood can be challenging and yet one of the most rewarding parts of life. Their protective presence, wise guidance, and caring instructions and teachings have helped make us who we are today. So I invite you to breathe into your heart the following blessing. I bless my father and those who shared a father's love and care with thoughts and prayers of appreciation for my memories throughout all the seasons of my life. Through good times and bad, I see the divine expressing through my father and the men who have shown me fatherly love. I forgive anything and everything that may need forgiven and free us to move forward in love and appreciation. Together we send these blessings of love and gratitude to those father figures who are here with us and those who have moved beyond this realm, knowing they are still with us in spirit and that they hear our blessings and they feel our love. So just hold them in love, no matter what has happened in the past. Thank him for all that he did for you and release him from any obligations you thought he should have done or should have been. Free him and free yourself. Just keep only the love. As the Course in Miracles teaches us, all your past except its beauty is gone, and nothing is left but a blessing. So let's just go into the silence for just a moment. So bring your awareness back into this room. And I hope you will choose to do that U-turn. If you need to do that, it will change your life for the better. So thank you very much, and I hope you will join us in class. I think we're going to actually go outside, if that's workable, and I hope it is. Thank you everyone so much.
Thank you.